show us this game.
Hello, I'm Forgiven.
I'm Sorbet.
This is Lost Wiki Kozlovka. We're just gonna get right into it in 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, so this game is basically a Wikipedia game that is also sort of a horror game. We're going to be essentially uncovering the sort of dark mysteries of this Eastern European town, sort of centered around this cursed tree that's growing this supernatural fungus. Right away, we're going to be doing a lot of setup here with the windows and menus. Because this is, sort of like a Wikipedia game, there's going to be a lot of page navigation using the backwards and forwards buttons, as well as bookmarks in this sort of database view. So it's really important to bookmark the really important pages that we're going to be going to frequently so that we can just jump straight to them later in the run. This game is basically entirely knowledge-gated, and none of the passcodes like you're seeing for the more important pages are randomized, so if you already know them, you can basically sequence break to a lot of the important pages right away. So the windows are set up here in a specific way so that when Forgiven is mashing continue after each email that she gets, which are basically the progress gates for this game, it'll bring the database window back up right away so she can immediately start getting back to filling out the report, which you'll see just here. So the main progress of this game is going to be filling out a report, since we're an investigator sort of reporting on this town. We'll fill out this report, email it to the person that we're working with, you get a little text crawl, and then you get a new email saying, hey, looks good, we're going to need a little bit more than that though. We're going to mash the continue button, or at least where it's going to be. Immediately brings back up the database page. This game is entirely mouse controls, so you're going to be seeing a lot of mouse movement, you're going to be hearing a lot of cursor clicking. This game casually plays like a Wikipedia speedrun. This game, in a speedrun sense, is basically OSU. This game, when routing, is basically getting a PhD in graph theory. The mental model of playing this game is basically just creating a mental model of all of the pages that you have in your back and forward stack, as well as keeping a mental model of the sort of graph tree that you're in. So there's just a lot of stuff to keep track of, which is why I'm the one talking and Forgiven isn't. Mm-hmm. So you're going to be hearing my lovely voice for the next, 8 or so minutes. The earlier parts of this game are basically just going to be base level understanding of what's happening and all of that. Later on, we're going to be actually pointing the finger at certain characters. This game, despite being, one of the most menus games you've ever seen, does actually have tech. In possibly one of the last emails, or no, this email specifically, has an attachment that will bring up an image. The click area for that attachment is actually active as soon as the email window is open, before the text even appears. Clicking that attachment will immediately kick you back into this main screen. It saves about 5 seconds every time you do it, as opposed to just waiting for the continue button to appear and mashing that. So, despite basically just clicking around, haphazardly around the screen, there are some time saves you can make aside from just being really, really good at cursor movement. So you might notice that my comms are going to be a little bit sporadic. I played this game yesterday in preparation for these comms, so hopefully I'm doing a good job at explaining the plot.
You're doing great.
Honestly, I was kind of in the Torment Nexus yesterday, just understanding what was even going on. Like, to be fair, I had my attention split between this and, watching a stream on my second monitor while hanging out in a Discord call, so I was only paying half attention. But, this game is great regardless, and, Forgiven is making, an absolute fool out of me for doing this so quickly. Like, routing this, I can imagine, was just absolutely wild.
There's a lot in my mental stack right now. I'll say that.
For sure. So now that we're actually starting to uncover the sort of conspiracy of all this, we're basically starting to play Clue, where we're attaching each tragedy that happened in this town to a specific member of the Dragunov family, who are the founders of this town. we're going to, after this, start to find out that the person that we're talking to may be a little bit more connected to this story than we initially thought, which is why we're being told to stop looking into things.
Yeah, so the person we're talking to is kind of like the mother of the current mayor of the town, who is the next person we're going to be pointing some fingers at. After this, boom.
And she's basically been kept in the dark around a lot of the conspiracies around this town. So she's basically taking this opportunity to learn what exactly has been going on. That may prove to be not so great for her. But, you know, we'll see. Maybe the truth is a good thing to learn after all. A sort of basic plot synopsis, after, you know, all of these curses happened, the family is trying to keep this town alive by doing rituals and trying to keep this tree producing a sort of supernatural fungus, in order to keep the, you know, medical and agricultural parts of this town alive, but it is turning out to be incredibly ruinous for the people in this town, and is just turning into an absolute mess. We get a mysterious email after, you know, Volha does some key smashing and sends us an email with no subject. Turns out we're now emailing the current mayor of the town, who has been really trying to keep all of this under wraps. And after sort of showing his hand, now we get to do the really sort of gritty work of really pinning down who did what, why they did it. This part of the game is essentially a giant knowledge check of how much you've been paying attention, which for me, when I was playing this game, was not that much. Honestly, I got stuck on this part for probably close to an hour, because I wasn't paying that much attention. But this is essentially the, you know, the comprehensive final of all of Lost Wiki. This game's story is, while short, a lot of fun to explore. It's a very short and sweet game. I, despite being in the Torment Nexus, had a lot of fun playing it, and even more fun watching it get absolutely destroyed. So it's been a ton of fun. With this one, let's see. We're sort of starting to get close to the end of the run, though not quite towards time. Again, we're starting to get to the middle point of the tragedies, where, you know, the current, or the previous mayor is starting to find out what things have been going on. He, unfortunately, gets killed for trying to uncover things, and things are just really starting to fall apart. One thing to note is that the ending, this game has 3 endings. The one that you pick does have significance to the timing of the run, since all of them have a slightly different cutscene that plays before the credits roll, which is where time officially ends. So we won't be going for the, I believe, the absolute fastest ending, since it's the one where you basically delete all of the evidence, which just doesn't feel great. We're going to try and do at least a decent job of, you know, making things right. But we also want to go a little bit fast.
Yeah, time is going to be coming up, not on this report, but we'll have a little bit after that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
so because
the quote good ending is the slowest, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
So
yeah, since we're basically right up against estimate, it's been awesome showing this off. Thank you for letting me yap over this gameplay while you absolutely lock in. Yeah.
We're gonna get
I don't know that I have much else to say.
One more email, and then time will be on continue here in just a moment, and time. So, oh, that was PP too.
Let's go.
So just to keep things short, you should check out Sorbet's run of Volume later.